Hi, I'm Nico. Today we'll be doing a yoga sequence for hips and lower back. We'll be doing a little bit of strengthening, some mobility, and a lot of just making them feel good. So let's start in a child's pose. Bringing your knees out as wide as feels best for you. Big toes to touch, reach your hands forward. And if you have blocks, you might want to grab them. If it doesn't feel good for you to be right here, you might bring a block underneath the sit bones. Taking a few grounding breaths before we start to move. See if you can breathe into your lower back and your hips, just noticing how they're doing, how they're feeling, if they're holding on to any tension physically or emotionally. Once you feel grounded, as you inhale, we'll find tabletop. Bring your shoulders on top of the wrists. Getting right into it, we'll tuck your toes underneath the feet, using the core to hover the knees just a couple inches up off of the ground. Finding our cows this way, we'll inhale cow pose, drop the belly, lift the heart. Keeping the knees hovered, exhale, cat round through the spine, tuck your chin towards your chest. 2 more just like that. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, drop the belly, lift the heart, and this time exhale, downward facing dog, roll the hips up and back. Keep your knees as bent as you need them early in practice. Really press into the hands, lengthen through the spine. And then we'll find some downward facing dog, cat, cow. So as you inhale, lift your heels, round through the back of the heart space. Tuck your chin towards your chest, and then as you exhale, downward facing dog, cat, bend the knees, find this kind of cat crouch position. Cow, whatever. You know what I mean. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, round through the spine. And then exhale, find that crouch. Last one, inhale. And exhale. This time hold. Inhale, look forward in between the hands, and then little baby footsteps will walk the feet up to the hands at the front of the mat. Find your ragdoll pose. Bend the knees deeply. Let your heart space release on top of the thighs. Bend the knees even more. 1 vertebrae at a time. We roll all the way up. Toward Tadasana, mountain pose. Shrug out the shoulders a couple times. Next inhale, reach the hands up high, upward salute. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, pull up and out of the left hip. Bend into the knees, cross your left foot behind the right. And then find this deep side body stretch, getting into the lower back, side body QL. Ground down into your right foot nice and slow. Bring that left knee into the chest. Hook underneath the knee with the arms, interlace your fingers. And use that stability of the arms, making kind of a sling to hold the leg. And then as you inhale, kick that left leg forward. Exhale, bring it back in. 2 more, inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, bring it in. Last one, inhale. This time, exhale, let go of the leg as you find your runner's lunge. Bend into your right knee as you bring your left foot to the back of the mat. If you have blocks, this might be a good spot for them. As you inhale, we'll drop the left knee down, open up through the heart, feel that stretch through the left hip flexors. Exhale, we'll lift the hips up as you drop the heart space down, finding a modified pyramid. 2 more times with the breath. Inhale, drop the left knee, lift the heart. Exhale, lift your hips. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, drop your right knee all the way down. We'll pull the hips back on top of this left knee and bring the hands up overhead, so we're kind of balancing on the left shin. And you can slide your foot if this doesn't feel good, or play with your balance, lifting your right heel up and bringing your right foot out to the side. Gotta move the dog a little bit. Grab your left wrist with your right hand again, pull up and out of that left hip and stretch over to the right. Inhale, come out of this, bring your hands to your hips. See if you can tilt your right toes up towards the sky to begin. And then as you exhale, and I'll face you just for now, but keep facing the front of your mat, we're bringing the right toes up, and then getting into this right hip, we're gonna find a grounded, extended side angle. So sink into that right knee. Bring your right hand down. If that feels okay, maybe it finds a block, and then reach your left hand up towards the sky. And if you don't feel this, really press the hips forward, press your right elbow into the right knee. Okay, and then we'll bring ourselves back up, stretching through that right leg. Don't move, I'm just gonna move myself back to the position that you're in. Drop the inside edge of the right foot down, and then exhale, find your hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck your left toes underneath your left foot, keep your right foot out wide, and then we'll find what I call odd dog. Lift your hips up towards the sky, pull your left hip away from that left wrist to really stretch through the left side body. We'll move into scorpion pose. So ground down into your hands and your left foot. Nice and slow, lift that right foot up off of the ground and then swing your right hip on top of the left scorpion. Pull your right knee away from that right wrist. Lizard lunge, bring the right foot all the way forward outside the right hand. Drop your left knee down to the earth. Open up through the heart. We'll pull the hips back. Walk your hands underneath the shoulders. Find the left knee, and this time we're swinging the right leg all the way back behind us for a three-legged tabletop position. Cross your right knee behind your left knee, so you're in a cross-legged tabletop. And then press your hips back towards your heels, taking a gentle hip stretch there. Bring your shoulders back up on top of the wrists, find the shins. Tuck your toes underneath your feet, and then lift your knees up off of the ground for your cross-legged downward facing dog. Now, option to stay here, or we'll open up into kind of this wild thing. So you'll let your right hand lift up off of the mat, let your body naturally unravel, open to the right, and then press your hips up towards the sky as you reach through the right hand. Bring it back down, plant the right hand, and lift your hips back up towards the sky. Lower your knees all the way back down for that cross-legged tabletop position. You'll uncross your right knee from behind the left, take a big rounded hip circle, plant your right foot outside that right hand again for your lizard lunge. This time tuck the left toes, lift up through the left knee. Keep your left hand where it is. Inhale, reach the right hand high. Easy twist. Bring your right hand back down inside the right foot. Bring your left foot forward for Malasana frog squat. Left foot comes wide, toes out, heels in. Sink your hips in between your heels as your hands come to heart. A few breaths here. Next, exhale, find your ragdoll pose. Let your heart drop, spin your toes in, bend the knees, let the heart space release. Shake it out. Come back through center, bend the knees one vertebrae at a time. We roll all the way up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Start to shrug out the shoulders. Inhale to your upward salute, reach the hands high. This time grab your right wrist with your left hand, pull up and out of the right hip, bend into the knees, cross your right foot behind the left, stretch over to the left, press your hips to the right. Ground down into your left foot, nice and slow, come up through center. Hook underneath your right knee with your fingers, interlacing them. The awkward grip this time if you know which one that is. Letting your leg hang in your arms. And then as you inhale, you'll kick it straight. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Exhale, re-bend into the knee. 2 more, inhale, kick forward. Exhale, bring it in. Last one, inhale. And exhale. This time all the way to runner's lunge. Bring your right foot to the back of the mat. Maybe finding those blocks again if you have them. Drop your right knee down to the earth as you lift the heart, stretch through the right hip flexors. Exhale, lift your hips, drop your heart. Couple more times, inhale, drop the right knee, lift your heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, drop your right knee down. Pull your hips back. Remove your blocks if you have them, so that we're balancing on this right knee. And then again, you can just slide this across the mat, or lift your left heel, bring the left foot out wide. Grab your right wrist with your left hand, pull up and out of the left hip, stretch, or right hip, stretch over to the left. Bring your hands up through center, reach tall. Spin your left toes up off of the ground. Hands to the hips if you want. Finding that grounded, extended siding, will bend into the left knee. You might keep your hands where they are on the hips, or drop the left hand, reach the right hand up overhead to get into that hip even deeper. Slowly come up out of this. Let the left inside edge of the foot drop back down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. So this left foot stays out wide. Tuck your right toes, and then lift your hips up. Odd dog is what I call this. For me, it's a really good stretch through the right side body, right QL, if I really pull that right hip away from the right wrist. All right, now switching where our balance is, where the weight is, we'll ground down into the right foot and the hands. Start to lift the left foot up to scorpion. Stack your left hip on top of the right. Open up. Bring your left foot outside of the left hand at the front of the mat. Lizard lunge. Drop your right knee all the way down, lift up through the heart. And then we'll walk your hands back just a little bit so that you can swing this left leg behind you to 3-legged tabletop. So hands should be right underneath the shoulders. And then we'll bend the left knee, cross it behind the right. Press your hips back towards your heels for this gentle hip stretch. Bring your shoulders back up on top of the wrists. Tuck your toes underneath your feet, and then lift your hips into your cross-legged downward facing dog. Again, you might hang out here. If you want to open up into Wild Thing, you'll ground down into your right hand, maybe bring it to center. Let your left hand lift as your hips spin open to the left. Press your hips up towards the sky, open through your heart space. If you found Wild Thing, let's bring it back into our cross-legged downward facing dog. Into our cross-legged tabletop, lower your knees down to the earth. Ground down into your right knee, let your left knee uncross from behind, and then bring your left foot forward again to lizard lunge. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Finding Malasana frog squat, bring your right foot forward outside the right hand, sink the hips low again, hands to heart, lift through the heart space. Next, exhale, let the heart space drop. Let your toes spin forward and shake it out. Bend into the knees, one vertebrae at a time. We roll all the way back up. And then inhale upwards, so reach the hands high. Ground down into your right foot again, lift the left knee. For figure four, cross your left ankle on top of the right knee, sink the hips low as the hands come to heart. Start to lift your left knee up, finding your half staff, and then swing your left knee all the way back behind, half moon. Drop your right hand down as your left hand reaches up towards the sky. Balance on your right foot. Maybe bring a block underneath the right hand. Breathe. Warrior two, bend into the right knee. Plant your left foot at the back of the mat. Then we're going to try to get into the lower back. So give yourself a big hug. Right elbow on top of the left. And then we're going to start by finding kind of a reverse warrior. So drop your left elbow or your left shoulder down towards the left knee. And then find the twist. So try to twist your elbows towards that left foot. Sink lower into the right knee. Pull that right knee out wide. And release, bring yourself back up through center. Release the arms into your T, warrior two. Reverse the warrior with an inhale. Straighten your right leg for reverse triangle. Lengthen through your right side body for triangle pose. Press your hips back. Drop your right hand down to a block or the shin as your left hand reaches up towards the sky. Revolved triangle. Drop your left hand. As you do, your left hip will square towards the front of the room. I like to knock my left foot in a little closer to the right and bring a block underneath that left hand to reach my right hand up towards the sky. Revolved half moon. Bend into the right knee and launch into the right foot, lifting the left leg up off of the ground. Twist a little deeper. Easy twist, bend into the right knee. Plant your left toes as you plant the left hand. Keep your right hand reaching up high. Press into your left hand, bring your right foot back to meet the left. Find your high plank. Drop your right hand down, high plank. Lower all the way down to the mat. Hips and heart touch the same time. Flip to the tops of the feet. 3 rolling cobras. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, release, let it go. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. 1 last one, inhale.
And exhale. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, tuck the toes, move your way through high plank or tabletop. Roll your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking a few moments to refine the breath, ground down. Getting ready for our left side. Syncing the breath, take a big inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale to look forward in between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, hop, or float. Bring your feet to your hands at the front of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute, reach with the hands. This time, bring your right knee up. For your figure four, across your right ankle on top of the left knee, sink the hips low, bring your hands to your heart. Slowly start to lift yourself up, bringing the right knee with you. Move slowly into your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Kick your right foot to the back as your left hand drops. Reach your right hand up towards the sky. Warrior two, bend into the left knee. Plant your right foot at the back of the mat. Reach through the fingers. Find the feet, and then we'll try to get into that lower back. So bring your left elbow on top of the right, giving yourself a hug. And then we'll start by finding reverse warrior. So drop your right shoulder down towards that right foot. And then if it feels okay, twist into a little bit, elbows towards the right toes. Sink into that left knee to try to get into that left lower back. Gently come back up through center. Release your arms. Reverse warrior, reach your left hand up and back. Reverse triangle, straighten your left leg. Keep your left side body long as you move into triangle pose. Reach the left hand forward. Let it drop to your left shin as your right hand reaches up overhead. Revolve triangle. As you drop your right hand, you'll square your hips to the front of the room. I like to pull my right foot in a little bit more. Bring a block underneath the right hand and reach my left hand up towards the sky. Revolved half moon. Start to bend into the left knee. And then launch into the left foot, lifting the right foot up off of the ground. Take a little deeper twist with the heart space. Easy twist when you're ready. Bend into the left knee. Keep reaching your left hand up as you plant the right toes. Find it in the right palm. Press into the right hand. Side plank. Bring your left foot back to meet the right. Drop your left hand for high plank. We'll move through connecting vinyasa. So inhale, charge your heels forward. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows just outside the rib cage. Inhale through your upward facing dog, pull your heart space through. Exhale to downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Inhale, look forward in between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, hop, or float to your forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, lengthen. And then exhale, we'll find a seat. Planting down into the feet. Rolling down onto your back. Finding bridge pose. So reach your hands towards your heels, press into the feet, lift your hips up towards the sky. Use the glutes to press the hips up higher. And then press your tailbone towards your calves to give your lower back a little more length. Gently lower your hips back down to the earth. Happy baby, bring your knees into your chest, your armpits, reach for the feet. If your lower back is lifting up off the ground like this, we'll just find supine child, so grab the knees instead of the feet. Maybe you rock the baby. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a big squeeze. And then release into Savasana. Open up through the legs and the arms, relaxing where you can. Taking one last big breath before you let go of the control of it. Take a big inhale to fill up. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Sinking into Savasana pose. If you have the gift of time today, I encourage you to hang out here a little bit longer. Feel free to get up and start moving whenever you're ready. Try to be slow and gentle with yourself. Thanks for watching.